Yeah. So yeah. So in grade seven, that was the first time I tried smokes in grade seven. I never tried alcohol ever in grade seven. The first time I tried alcohol was when I was 14 years old. 15 years old or 14 years old. 15 years old was the first time I got drunk. That was my first time. I went to this party at this guy's house. I had a huge 40, right? A huge 40 of beer, and I got drunk. The first time I got drunk when I was 15 years old, man. Yeah. Everyone always remembers the first time they got drunk, obviously. Because most people get drunk around the time when they're in junior high, high school. Grade 9 high school is the first time when everyone gets like drunk in high school and all that stuff. You have all these parties and all that stuff, right? Yeah. But yeah. So in grade 7, I hung out with my best friend, my so called best friend at the time. I also hung out with this other guy who I considered to be my best friend in grade 7. He was only my best friend in grade 7, the other guy. And after grade 8, I went to York. And in grade 9, I didn't really hang out with him. In grade 10, I didn't hang out with him. He left. He like dropped out of school, whatever it is. But that one guy I met in grade 6, he was my best friend throughout my high school years. Obviously, right? And after grade 7, I remember after grade 7, obviously, my step parents, okay, Ivan, we're gonna send you to Ottawa, so you can take the regular program in grade 8, obviously. So he registered me in Ottawa, obviously, because had I went to Sims, I would have been in the special class throughout high school, and had I went to outlet, I would have had to start all the way from grade 7 all the way to grade 11. If you're in a special class in high school, when you go to outlet, you have to start from grade 7 all the way to grade 11. That's why my step parents are, hey, Ivan, we're going to put you in the regular program in grade 8. And I passed the regular program. That's how you know I'm smart enough. I passed the regular program in grade 8, obviously. I got like 60s and all that stuff. I didn't really study that much, and I still got like managed to get 60s. 50s in a few classes and 60s. 60s in my classes. I passed, obviously, right? And I remember when I went to grade 8, I was a loner in grade 8, obviously. I went to school. I went to York. York is a school downtown Ottawa, in Lower Town, right? I went to this school called York. I remember I went to Sims. I remember in grade 8, I went to Sims for the first day of orientation, obviously. I told all the people in my class, hey guys, I'm not gonna be in Sims, man. The guys are like, what do you mean you're not gonna be in Sims? I'm going to Ottawa, all that stuff. And they all thought I was joking, obviously. And I went to Ottawa, obviously. So in grade 8, I did all the people who I knew in Darcy, they were in Darcy. And in grade 8, I went to Sims. I went to York for 1 year, obviously. And I made a few good friends in York. School friends. They were like my school friends. I just hung out with them in school. I made a few good school friends in York, obviously. You guys know who you are. I met all these Arabs, Somalians, and like white people, right? Because in Ottawa, one thing about Ottawa is very, very multicultural. There's a lot of Somalians, black people, Arab people, white people in the schools in Ottawa. Whereas schools in Quebec is hardcore white, white, and like black people, white, hardcore white. Darcy is hardcore white. There's only like three. There are only like what? There are only like two black people in my grade 11 class, in my whole grade 11 class. There are like 3 black people in my whole grade 11 class. Everyone else was white. Yeah, Quebec is hardcore white in the Gatineau region, obviously. Whereas Ottawa is very multicultural. Black people, Somalians, Arabs. I met all these guys at York, obviously. I had some good moments at York. I played basketball at York. My teacher at York put me down. She put me my English teacher at York. She put me in a special English class. It wasn't retard English, but it was a special English class. Ivan's not smart enough for this English class. Let's put him in a special English class. And they put me in a special English class. I remember when I wrote this story. This one kid that was in my class, he was fucking smart. The guy got like 80s and 90s. He's like, this story doesn't make any sense. He was hating on me so much. This story doesn't make any sense. He's like, what the hell, man? And I read his story. He had nice English, obviously. You know who you are. He read my thing. He's like, Ivan, this story doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all, I'm saying. Ivan, this story doesn't make any sense. So I'm like, why is everyone hating on me? What the fuck did I do to you, man? I now know why they all hate on me. Hate on me. It's because of their envy, obviously. And that one teacher, she put me in that special English class in grade 8, obviously. Yeah. But I had good moments at York, man. York, I had some good moments at York High School. York, I played basketball at York. I was pretty good. I was not bad. And I played, and I remember at the end of the year we went to this. We went to Montreal. We went to this what? What's that thing called? We went to this event in Montreal. It was an event throughout Montreal. We went to this event. I had to. We also went to the zoo. We went to the Montreal Zoo. Obviously, I had good moments at York, York Junior High. Obviously, and you guys all know. You guys in York. You guys all remember me. Yeah, I remember Ivan in York. Yeah, I went to York. Obviously, hence all the future generation kids who go to York, you're gonna see Ivan O'Mara in the graduation. Which, oh my God, Ivan came here. Yeah, Ivan came here in 2005 and 2006. Ivan came here, man. Ivan came to this school. Yeah, everything becomes like Ivan came here. Ivan came to York. Yeah, Ivan came to York. I remember him. He was a student of mine. You know what I'm saying, yeah, man. Good moments at York, obviously. And then in grade 9, I went to Lisgar High School. Lisgar High School is a school downtown Ottawa. I went there for 1 year, obviously. Lisgar High School is like a smart school. It's for smart. It's a high what? It's a high level school. Obviously, I went there in grade 9. Obviously, to Lisgar, obviously, and Lisgar, I hung out the guys who I met at York. I all met them at Lisgar, obviously. So all the guys who I went to York, who I went to junior high with at York in grade 8, I went to high school with them in grade 9, obviously. And a lot of them were in my class and all this stuff. Yeah, a lot of them were in my class. I didn't really have much friends at Lisgar, but I pretty much hung out with those guys at York. The guys I hung out with at York, they were like my school friends. I hung out with them at York, at Lisgar, sorry. I didn't really have any school friends, obviously. I wasn't a loner at Lisgar. I hung out with those guys who I met at York. I hung out with them at Lisgar during at Lisgar. I hung out with them, obviously. But I didn't really have any friends. They were just my school friends. I didn't really hang out with them in my personal time. You see what I'm saying? Whereas the guys at Darcy, I actually hung out with them in my personal time. Whereas these guys, I didn't hang out with them in my personal time because they all lived in Ottawa and I lived in Elmer. Because I had to take the bus from Elmer all the way to what? To Ottawa, obviously. So I went to Lisgar, obviously. First semester, I did pretty good at school. I got like 70s for like most of my classes. I took the applied program. I took academic math and academic science, obviously. Academic math and academic science is like advanced math and advanced science, obviously. And I struggled with advanced math, obviously. Like, had I passed, and even if I passed, I would have barely passed with like a 50 or something like that. I struggled with it, and the moment I struggled with it, I remember that one teacher, he told me, he's like, "Oh, Ivan, we did this exam. Ivan, you got a 48% on your exam. I don't think you should take this program, the academic math program and all that stuff." I believe if I worked hard, I would have passed it, but I'm not with flying colors because I'm not that great at math. I ended up going to the office. I'm like, "Hey, I want to switch to applied math," and I switched to applied math. And in second semester, I switched to applied science. Applied science and applied math is like regular math in Ottawa, whereas academic is advanced math. It's like advanced math in what? Advanced math, advanced science in Ottawa, obviously. If you take the advanced program, you can go straight to university from high school in Ottawa. Whereas if you take the regular program, you have to go to college first to build your credits, and then you can go to university. That's how it works in Ottawa, obviously. So I changed classes. I took the applied math, and I took the applied science for the second semester, obviously. And in first semester, I passed all my classes. I did pretty good. I got like 70s in my class. I did pretty good, obviously. 70s, that kind of stuff. Like 160 and like a couple 70s. I don't remember what I got. But I did pretty good. And the second semester, I went to Lisgar, obviously. I remember I went to the dance. I went to the dance on my own. Because none of those guys from York wanted to go dance. I'm like, fuck it, I'll go to the dance on my own. I went to the dance on my own, obviously. I went to the dance on my own. For this girl, I went on my own, obviously, and I hung out with another guy who I knew in my class. I hung out with him a little bit. I knew him from my class, so I hung out with, you know who you are. I hung out with him a little bit in the dance, obviously. I went to the dance myself. The dance was shit. The Lisgar dance was shit compared to the Darcy dance. As a Darcy dances, that's where it's at. I remember in grade 9, when I was in grade 9, Darcy used to have these crazy dances. I used to come to the dance. I used to grind with so many women at the dance, man. The Darcy dances back in the day were nice, were legit, man. They were not good dances, man. I went to all the dances when I was in grade 9. Obviously, I went to the dances with my stepbrother. Obviously, those dances were all legit, man. They're all sick. Yeah, I mean the dances of Darcy dances are legit. Yeah, man. The Darcy dances were legit, man. I'm saying I used to go to the dance. I used to what? Everyone I used to show up, all my all the people who knew me in Darcy. Hey, Ivan, you know what I'm saying? They give me a 5. I come, you know what I'm saying? And I had a good time at all the dances, man. Dad grinding with a lot of women at those dances, obviously. In grade 9, obviously. So for grade 8 and grade 9, I went to school in Ottawa. I went to York in grade 8 and I went to Lisgar in grade 9, obviously. And then second semester, I made a few, like all those guys who I hung out with at York, I hung out with them during in grade 9, obviously. I remember we used to always go to Harvey's. We used to always go to Harvey's a lot after at lunchtime. We used to go to Harvey's because Lisgar was right next to all these restaurants: Harvey's, Quiznos, McDonald's, Pizza, all these places, Wendy's. It was next to all these fast food restaurants. We just walk to the place and we get Harvey's. We get food, all this stuff, obviously. I remember second semester. Second semester, I took science, math, computers, and like gym or something like that. Obviously. Obviously, second semester I slacked off at school. I failed a good chunk of my classes. Obviously, I didn't take school seriously. I ended up going to summer school in grade 9. I failed grade math. I only failed math and science because I didn't study for my exam. I slacked off. I failed math and I failed science in grade 9. Obviously, and I went to summer school for that. And so had I went to I also didn't take gym in grade 9. So had I went to Lisgar in grade 10, I would have had to redo grade 9 computers and grade 9 gym. Everything else I would have been in grade 10. Everything else, obviously. So I went to summer school for math and science, obviously, and I met this one kid. You know who you are. I met this one kid. I went to summer school at Saint Pius. Obviously, I remember I went to summer school at St. Pius, obviously. I met this one kid who went to St. Pius, and that kid who I happened to be, I became good friends with him at summer school, obviously. I went out with him, we had pizza, you know who you are. He's like, yeah, I'm moving to Elmer, I'm gonna go to Darcy, man. I'm gonna be going to Darcy. Holy shit, he's like, yeah, I'm moving to Elmer, man. He's like, I'm going to Darcy. I'm like, oh, nice, man. I'm going to Darcy next year, too. I remember I told my parents, my guys, I want to go to Darcy, I don't want to go to Lisgar, I can't stand Lisgar. I want to go to Darcy. And my parents ended up registering me to Darcy, obviously. And finally, Darcy put me in the regular program. That's how you know I'm smart. I'm smart enough to be in the regular program. Darcy, they looked at my marks. Okay, Ivan passes math and science. They put me in the regular program in grade 10, obviously. So I was no longer in a retard fucking class, obviously. And that one guy who I met in Darcy, he happened to be going to move to Elmer. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to Darcy, man. Yeah, I'm going to Darcy, obviously. And in grade 10, I went to Darcy. And the summer was when I was going to Darcy. That was when I went to that party with my best friend, my supposed best friend. And this guy he knew since he was young. We had a party at his house, and I got drunk for the first time. That was the first time I got drunk. Obviously, I got drunk. I had this huge 40, and I got drunk for the first time. And there was a party at his house, and I got drunk. Obviously, that was the first time I got drunk at the party. Obviously, the first time I got drunk was when I was 14 years old, man. I was 14 years old. 15 years old. 15 years old. 15 years old was the first time I got drunk in my life, obviously. Oh my god, it's so cool hearing your story, Garvin. Yeah, it's the first time I got drunk, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And the summer of that year, I hung out with my with my best friend a few times. Went to the St. Jean, I believe. Yeah, I went to the St. Jean with him. St. Jean is like an event. It's like a party in the marina in Elmer. It's a huge event. All of Quebec goes to the area and goes to the place in Elmer. St. Jean, obviously. I went to a few parties. I hung out with my so-called best friend at the time. Went to his house. I'm saying good memories, obviously. I remember school started, grade 10, school started in grade 10, obviously. And I remember I met up with my friend. I'm like, hey, I took the bus with him to school in the morning, obviously. And I remember that one guy I met at summer school, he met me. He said, hey, Ivan, what's up? And I'm saying he met me now. And I introduced him to some of the guys. Like, hey, this is this guy. And I'm saying, that guy hung out with me for a few days, obviously, because he had no friends, obviously. He was new at Darcy, and eventually he made friends. He was a pretty good friend of mine. I hung out with him a few times, but eventually he ended up making friends with other guys. He ended up hanging out with other guys throughout the years, obviously. Whereas me, I hung out with that one guy. That one guy, that one guy in who I met in grade six. I hung out with him. He was like my supposed best friend, and I made friends with this other guy. The guy who bragged about that rich owner at the gas station, he became a good friend of mine. The guy who had rich grandparents, he was a good friend of mine in grade 10. In grade 11, I didn't hang out with him much because an incident happened between me and him. I don't want to talk about it. We weren't that close in grade 11, but in grade 10, me and him were pretty tight, man. I hung out with him a lot of times. He bought me beer, bought me pizza. You know what I'm saying? I've been to his grandparents' house like once or twice. His grandparents own this nice ass fucking house, obviously. And yeah, nice Cadillac. His grandparents were rich. They spoiled the shit out of the guy, man. They were rich people. Obviously. In grade 10, I remember when I was in grade 10, there was one chick who I saw, and I had a crush on her, obviously. I remember when I went to school, everyone kept staring at me. They all kept, because son of God, I was, holy shit, Ivan's coming to Darcy. Everyone kept staring at me. They're like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at the eye. It's so cool seeing Ivan, you know what I'm saying? Everyone knew Darcy knew I was the son of God, obviously. And, and yeah. I remember there was this one chick, I ended up having a crush on her, obviously. I liked her in Darcy, obviously. Didn't work out. I had a crush on her, but then there was another chick who liked me too, obviously. I liked two women in Darcy too. There's one chick who liked me too in grade 10 too, but it didn't work out, obviously. The only thing that happened between me and her, the only thing I did was kiss her on the cheeks, because I was drunk, obviously. I kissed her on the cheeks when I was drunk, and I hugged her a few times. That's it. Nothing really happened between me and that girl, obviously. You all remember all the women who I like. You guys will all remember me as I am the son of God. You guys all, and they were obviously all interested in me. They just didn't show it the reason why they didn't show it is because they know, yeah, Ivan's holy. He's just gonna run away. Yeah, they know I'm gonna run away if I have sex with him, obviously, because I'm holy, obviously. No, those women are meant for me, man. Now, one chick in grade 10, I liked her quite a bit, and I liked her quite a bit, obviously. She said she didn't like me back, but she was obviously lying. She obviously liked me because I'm white, obviously. She liked me, obviously. But I never really talked to her. I never really showed interest, you know what I'm saying? I remember all the time she always kept staring at me and all that stuff. You know who you are. I had a crush on her. I had a big crush on her, you know what I'm saying? It didn't work out. Everyone was like, oh my God. Oh my God, Ivan likes this chick. Everyone around the school was going crazy. Oh my God, Ivan likes this chick because I'm the son of God, obviously. In other words, had I dated that chick, you're looking at something crazy with the jealousy. Everyone around the school would be staring at me, and if I had I dated that chick in Darcy, everyone around the school would have been jealous. All the men and women would have been staring. Yeah, because I'm special, the son of God, obviously. I dated that chick, obviously, but it didn't work out. Me and her didn't work out, obviously. I liked her in grade 10. I also liked her in grade 11 too. I got over her after grade 10, but I also liked her a little bit in grade 11 too. She was in my drama class. She was in my history class. You know what I'm saying? She was in my drama class, obviously, and we did a play together. Little Red. You guys know what I'm talking about. To all you guys who stalk my Facebook page, remember that picture with me when I'm wearing that red? I was wearing this red robe costume. You saw this girl. She was handing me a basket. She was wearing this purple thing. That was a girl who I liked in grade 10, man. That was a girl who I liked in grade 10. Yeah, don't hate me, VJ. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking. That was a girl who I liked in grade 10, obviously. She's like, I love you, Ivan, on Facebook, obviously. Yeah, that was a chick who I liked in grade 10, obviously. Yeah, obviously, right? And so, yeah. So throughout grade 10, I didn't do my homework. I slacked off at school. I barely took school seriously. I failed all my classes. But the only classes I passed in grade 10 were French and like gym. Gym and French are the only classes I passed in grade 10. Everything else I failed. I failed all my classes in grade 10, obviously. I got into a fight in grade 10 too, with two guys, obviously. I got into a fight, obviously. The one guy cheap shot me. He just punched me out of nowhere, obviously. And the other guy, a lot of people say the other guy won the fight, but I threw him around like a rag doll. He punched me a few, I don't know, a good 7 times. But I threw him, I lifted him up and I threw him to the ground, obviously. They know I know as God I can take those guys, obviously. Something was holding me back when I fought those guys. As I know I can take those guys, obviously, because I'm white. Don't hate me, guys, I'm saying. Yeah. I got into a fight in grade 10. I got into 2 fights in grade 10. Obviously, with two guys, obviously. I'm not going to tell you the details. I'll just leave it at there, obviously. When I was 15 years old, I got into two fights in grade 10, obviously. And throughout grade 10, I didn't take school seriously. I didn't do my homework. I just failed all my classes. I just didn't take school seriously, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And my best friend, he ended up dating this chick. Chick was not bad. She was pretty hot. You know what I'm saying? My best friend ended up dating this chick, obviously, for like 2 months. Pretty hot chick. We had a party at that guy's house who he knew, who he was friends with since he was young, obviously. And he had a party at that house, and he ended up making out with her, and they hooked up. I don't know, they hooked up, obviously. He dated that chick for 2 months. So think about this. All my friends, all my so-called friends throughout my life, and in high school, they all had their makeout sessions with their girlfriends and boyfriends, and I never had any of that, man. Also, I never had any of that, man. Obviously, right. I remember that one guy who was my good friend. Who bragged about the owner who worked at that gas station. I slept over his house one time too. I slept over his house. I slept over at his house with the other guy who had his rich grandparents. Because me and him were good friends in grade 10. I slept over his house one time too. Obviously, we had ordered pizza and we watched Rush Hour 3. I remember that. We watched Rush Hour 3. Yeah, and we had some beer. Obviously, we were pretty drunk. We watched Rush Hour 3. We had pizza. Obviously, I remember that. Obviously, and throughout grade 10, I hung out with my best friend. Obviously, I hung out with that guy who had the rich grandparents. I also hung out with the guy who worked at the gas station, who bragged about how rich the owner of the gas station was. I hung out with those guys in grade 10. Those guys were all my good. Those other two guys were my good friends. The one guy who was my second best friend, he came to school in the beginning of grade 10, then he left. He went to another school in grade 10, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And in grade 11, me and him became tight. I hung out with him like every day, man. We were fucking good. He would be like, yeah, man, me and Ivan was like my best friend in grade 11. I hung out with him like every day. Every day, man. Every day after school, I hung out with him. We always smoked weed. No, say we were fucking good friends, man. Yeah, man. I hung out with him even more than my so-called best friend. That's how much I hung out with that guy, man. We and him were fucking close, I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about, I'm saying. Yeah, obviously. And that one guy, the one guy who I met at summer school in grade 9, who went to St. Pius, who moved to Elmer, that guy, man, that guy had like four girlfriends in Darcy. He had like four girls. He's a good looking guy, obviously. He had like four girlfriends in Darcy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know he was. He had a bunch of girlfriends in Darcy, obviously. A lot of women were attracted because he was a very attractive man, obviously. He had a bunch of girlfriends in Darcy. Where I never had any of that, obviously. I never had any of that. I know all the women, because I'm white, I know all the women secretly wanted me, obviously. That's the funny thing. That's why I'm going to have that flashback. Oh my god. I know, because I'm white, everyone dreams about me. I know all the women in Darcy, they all secretly wanted me. They just didn't show any interest because they're fucking crazy people, obviously. Yeah, we all want Ivan, but fuck, man, like, let's act like we're not interested in him because they're fucking crazy people. Yeah. All the women Darcy obviously all wanted me, obviously. All the men who, yeah, we know all the women want Ivan. Ivan's the son of God. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ivan's the son of God, obviously. I remember that one guy who's like, your friend, your friend, you're your friend's bitch. You know, he told me, I'm like, you're just jealous, man. You're just jealous I get more chicks than you. He's like this, he's like all cocky, he's like, pff, pff. When he knew deep down I can get more chicks than him, obviously. Yeah, I know Ivan can get any girl he wants, he's the son of God. Yeah, I can get anyone I want. That guy was a good looking guy, obviously, but he's not me. He's not as handsome as me. Don't hate me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But throughout my whole life in Darcy, I never had girlfriends. I remember I went to the dance. I danced with a lot of women at the dance, obviously, but I never had any girlfriends. That's my point. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyways, grade 10 ended, obviously. Grade 10 ended, and I found out later on, I ended up working at this place in grade 10. I did this door-to-door aeration job. Pretty good money. I was making like $300 a week or something like that. I was making pretty good money. I worked throughout the summer and I made money for myself, obviously. And I found out later on and I failed in my classes, obviously. Ivan, my stepfather was like, Ivan, you failed. You got your report card. You failed like a lot of your classes. And I went to summer school for 4 of those classes and I only passed math. And I failed the other. I guarantee the teachers sabotaged my marks though. His teacher said I was marks. But I remember I went to summer school. I took all my I did 4 courses, and I only passed my grade 10 math, and I failed everything else. I passed my grade 10 math with a 62%, obviously, and then everything else I failed, obviously. History, science, and so I failed history, science, and English. And so when I was in grade 11, I had to do history, grade 10 science, grade 10 English, and grade 10 history when I was in grade 11, obviously. And I was really, really pissed off too. But I told you, even when I went to summer school, I didn't really study that much. I slacked off, man. I didn't take school seriously. You see what I'm saying here? I didn't take school seriously. It wasn't until I went to Outlet I finally put in the work, and I worked my ass off. I fucking worked my ass off, man. I worked my ass off when I went. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the money that I made, and throughout in the summer of grade 10, I barely hung out with my friends. I just worked. I just worked all summer, and I worked all summer, and I made some good money for myself. I remember before grade 11, I bought nice clothes for myself. I bought nice shoes, nice pants, nice T-shirts for myself. I remember when I went to school the first year I looked nice and fresh. I wore these nice shoes, these nice pants, these nice T-shirts. I had my nice Jerry curls. Holy shit, everyone's saying, holy shit, Ivan looks different. I'm saying, I remember my friends came up, oh my god, Ivan, you've been working out? I'm like, no, I haven't been working out. I worked all summer. That made me more fit, but no, man, I haven't been working out. You've been working out there? I'm like, no, I haven't been working out, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, in grade 11, obviously, grade 11 started, obviously, I failed 3 of my classes, obviously, so I had to do 3 classes in grade 10. Grade 11 and grade 10. I did grade 10 English, grade 11, grade 10, grade 10 what? Grade 10 science and grade 10 history. Obviously. But all I had to do was pass the exam mid year, and then if you pass it, they put you in grade 11 the following semester. That's how it works in Quebec. Okay, if you pass history this semester, you can take your grade 11 programs the following semester. But I only passed science, and I failed history and English again for my exam, obviously, because I didn't study. I didn't take school seriously, obviously. It wasn't until I went to Outlet I finally put in the work and I got good marks. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? So I'll talk about up to my high school days, and tomorrow I will continue my video tomorrow, because I'll talk about my life after high school. Obviously. I forgot to mention this. In 2006, I used to hang out with these people around the summer, and in the summertime, we used to egg people's houses, obviously. I'm not proud of that, obviously. And that was when I met that rich girl. I met that rich girl. I went to her house, and I was in awe of her family's house, obviously. Her parents were rich. They were probably making, I don't know, $400,000 a year or something like that. They're fucking rich people. They owned like nice like $60,000, $70,000 cars, man. Nice fucking cars. They had a nice like millionaire house. Her family were rich. I met her parents. They were fucking rich people, and I was in awe. I'm like, holy shit, these guys are rich. You know who you are. You remember when I went to your house? Yeah, her family was rich. She had a lot of house parties. She had a few house parties at her house with all the guys in Darcy. She did invite me, obviously, but I remember I saw pictures of her on Facebook. She had house parties at her house and all that stuff. With all the people in Darcy, yeah, but she didn't invite me. She didn't invite me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She didn't invite me, obviously. And yeah. So it's grade 11. Grade 11 was when I met that guy who had a rich father. I already knew who the guy was. I knew him since grade 7. He was all these guys in Darcy. I knew them since grade 7. Since grade 7, grade 6, all of them went to my school since like grade 6, grade 5, grade 7. So I knew that guy since grade 7. I wasn't friends with him in grade 7, but I remember in grade 10, beginning of grade 10, he came to Darcy for a little bit. Then he went to another school in Ottawa or Quebec. He went to some private school, and he came back in grade 11. And I just started hanging out with him in grade 11, and me and him just became best friends, man. We became like best besties, obviously. The other guy was like my best friend, but I hung out with that guy more in grade 11 than I even do. I hung out with my best friend a lot too in grade 11, but I hung out with that other guy a lot more. I hung out with him like every day, man. I smoked weed with him, got high, got drunk with him a few times. Yeah, man. It would be me and him. We'd hang out with a few girls, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Hung out with him like every day, man. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are. Yeah, Ivan was like my best friend and Darcy, man. Me and him were tight, man. I hung out with him every day. Yeah, I hung out with him every day. Every day of the week, 5 days a week. Hey man, what you doing, man? Yeah, you wanna hang out? Sure, man. You know what I'm saying? We go always smoke weed together. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, it's grade 10, obviously. In grade 10, I what? I came to school. I come back to Darcy, obviously. I told you I was in three grade 10 classes because I failed those classes, obviously. I only passed grade 10 science. I passed grade 10 science with like a 68%, around there. I guarantee the teachers probably sabotaged my marks. I probably even got a higher mark because I studied for that exam pretty well. I got a 68%. I'm like, what the fuck? But I passed science, obviously, in grade 10, obviously. In grade 11, obviously. I passed my grade 10 science. But I did not pass history. I did not pass grade 10 English. Hence, I had to redo it, obviously. You know, so shut my camera here.